Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing? Um, just here today to talk to you about, I guess, going through life, managing life, whatever we want to call this, right? So, hold on. Okay, okay. So let me see if anybody's here. Just waiting to see if anyone shows up. If not, that's okay too. Okay, so today's topic is the true you in conflict with your current life? Big topic, right? The true you is the you who is inside, the one who has all those feelings of wanting to do something, all of those feelings of excitement inside, right? When you get something, like you really want to do something, and then your life is the one that says, can't do it. Not a good idea, right? So the true you is inside, trying to come out, right? So many people woke up last year, and they started using their gifts and everything, and then this year a whole lot more, and getting connected. And the part that is the most difficult after you're doing the work and after you are coming into your knowing of who you are and what you're actually able to do and how you can actually help people in a different way, in a non-conventional way, then the conflict begins, right? The conflict of, how am I being seen? Am I going to be accepted? Can I do this? And all of that stuff. I see somebody here, so please say hi so that I can say hi properly. So I wanted to tell you a story because there's a lot of energies going on, and I've read in different places about all the things that are happening, right? Like New York City, I think it was the one that they did that mandate for the vaccine. Don't want to talk about vaccines, but that's like a whole big thing about fear, right? The fear of if you don't do what I want you to do, then these things are going to be taken away from you, right? Like the freedom to go to a restaurant, right? So this is all based on fear to make people do things. And then people are divided, right? They're very divisive. They have the people who are like, you need to do it, and we're going to make you do it. And the other people are saying, I don't know if I want to do it, or I don't want to do it, or whatever it is, right? Like, this is not like a talk about either one being the right or the wrong, because only you know which is the right for you or the wrong one for you. But it is about the division that is created, right, in this world. So I want to tell you a story. When I was little, I'm from Chile, on New Year's Eve, there used to be, I guess there still is, but I was there and now I'm not. But they used to have this huge fireworks display for New Year's. And we lived in a little town, and we didn't have a car, and we would take the bus to go to the next town by the beach. And it was like, I don't know, maybe like a half-hour ride on the bus. And then we would get to the town where the beach was, right? And then all at night, and then all these people would be there. And it wasn't actually the beach where we used to go. It was like the port. So there were these huge, gigantic rocks between the city and the ocean, and we would go on it and like sit on a big, gigantic rock that had all the spaces around, and we would sit there, and then on the distance would be a big ship, and that's where the fireworks would be launched from, right? So we would go out, we would have this beautiful New Year's Eve dinner, and then after that we would take the bus and go there, walk, get and find a rock, find our rock. All these families would be there on different rocks and different places to watch the fireworks, and then we would watch the fireworks, and it was spectacular because it was by the ocean, and there weren't any like city lights around, right? So everything was like really dark when you're looking towards the ocean, and then you had this big firework display, and it was beautiful. And then when that finished, everybody would get up from the rock and and walk back to their bus. Most people had the, would take the bus at that time, and it was really late at night, and all the families would go, right? So all the families would go, and they would get back on the bus to go back home. And a lot of families had like the little kids, and you would see them on the bus. I would see them because this is from my perspective, right? And you would have the parents, and then the little kids like sleeping on them because it was so late. And hi Tracy, I'm so glad to see you. So I'm telling the story about when I was a kid in Chile, and we used to go to the ocean to watch the fireworks. So after watching the fireworks, we would take the bus and come home on the bus. And this is what was so beautiful about it, that everybody would be on this bus coming from the same place of having watched the fireworks, right? So we were all on the same bus, all coming back, and the energy on that bus, including the driver, right, who was working, so was not watching the fireworks, but everybody there was so happy and so jovial and so it was kind of like the consciousness within the bus was one, like that feeling of we are really all connected, right? So that was the feeling of we're going back, and people are happy and excited and also tired, and then you would see these little kids falling asleep on their parents' shoulders and stuff and being held, and then you would have this feeling of, oh, that's so cute, or that's so nice, or that's so tender, and then you wouldn't be making this like really big loud laughter because you were aware of the other children in the same bus, on the same bus, who were sleeping, and you were aware of everyone's energy, and everyone would get along together, and it was just this wonderful, like super high energy feeling, right? And no one would get into a fight, no one would get annoyed at anybody else. It was just like we were all one in this bus. And then I started remembering when I went to see the fireworks in New York. So I was older, and my mom wanted to go and watch the fireworks because I'm sure she missed it. So we used to live, I don't remember where we lived, Brooklyn or wherever it was, and we took a train to the city. So it was a much longer ride to the city, and we went, and then we tried to find a good place for the fireworks, and it was really difficult. So we ended up like underneath a highway. So it was like this big highway with those, big poles, and we had to find a place behind a whole bunch of people so that we could have a look at the fireworks. So it was completely different than watching the fireworks in Chile, right? When you had like a seat and, but anyway, we were there, and there were people in front and next to us, behind us, because again, this is New York City, so it's full. And we watched the fireworks, and it was amazing. And then it ended, and then we had to go home. So just like everybody else, we all started walking back. And I remember this, the streets of New York City had been closed, blocked off by the police, so because there were so many people walking, so the people would walk on the actual street because there was that many people. And again, the energy there, the energy of everyone there, everybody went to the same place to watch the fireworks. Everybody watched the fireworks. Everybody was happy. And then everybody was going home with their families. And so the energy, again, very, very high. And again, everybody was just walking. Nobody knew each other. You would catch the eye of somebody and smile and receive the smile back from them. And it was that sense of community, right? Of community, of we're doing the same thing in the same place. Like, how cool is that, right? And how amazing it is that these thousands of people are here together doing this and feeling this, the same feeling of love, of getting along, of getting together, right? Because we're all one. And then I have one more story You guys remember Desert Storm? So Desert Storm was this war, and then when it ended, the soldiers came back, and again they went to New York City, and they did a huge parade to welcome the soldiers. And there were soldiers there not just from America but from the different countries that had taken participated in this war, and they were all there in uniform going down the streets of Manhattan with the big tanks. And I remember that I traveled there with my friends, and we were in the middle again, huge parade. Obviously, all of this before COVID, right? um, all of this full of people, confetti flying through the windows, and again, the energy of the entire city getting along with each other. Everybody there for the same purpose of celebrating something. Everybody celebrating, and everybody getting together. And everywhere that you would look at, if you were lucky to meet the eyes of a stranger, that smile would just happen, because it was this knowing of, we are two different people from completely two different backgrounds in two different places, and here we are in this moment together, celebrating and feeling the same exact thing. And again, no one was fighting, no one was having all of these disputes, right? And so the energy as a collective, when we are in those moments and we are feeling that, and it's really, really, really high, right? I mean, imagine having all of those people together in the same place and not have a riot, not have a fight, not have disputes, not have shootings, right? That is what we can do as a consciousness, right? When we come together and we realize that we are all one, we're all connected by this grid, right? So when you have that understanding and you can see that connection, that we are all one and we can all get along and we can all be together, and we see the human part and the soul part at the same time, right? We understand each other as a people, right? Not a race, that blacks and whites and yellows and browns, not the sizes, not the sexes, not the anything, right? It's just the people, the soul, who we really truly are, right? Once you have that full understanding that we're really all the same and we're all connected, then you get to feel that feeling of love and peace. And once you have that, that's your true self. And right now we're living in such difficult times when there's so much division, right? And there's certain people who continue to throw this division out there and show it everywhere, so that people get even more and more divided, right? People are just like in their own. I mean, I've seen stories and people that I know that no longer talk to another because they have a difference of opinion about anything, right? It could be politics, it could be vaccine, whatever it is, right? They have such difference of opinion that they have forgotten that they are, hi Tao, hi, that they have forgotten that we're all together as one. So this gigantic division that's happening in the people, this is happening because we are forgetting that, number one, we are divine beings, that we are all love, and that we are all connected, right? So when you're looking at someone else that you don't know, right, from across the street, and you're able to find their soul, no matter what they look like, no matter who they are, whether they're, like I said before, it doesn't matter what race they are, right? Or either, male, female, in between, whatever it is, right? You're not looking at that. You're looking at their soul, the person, the human, right? And when you meet those eyes and you're able to smile, in that smile is the connection of the soul, and the acknowledgement that, hey, you're me and I'm you, we are connected, we are the same. And look at us here, sharing this space as we are, right? So that, think back of a time where you were able to have that experience where you're in a huge mass around the people, like the examples I gave you earlier about being watching the fireworks, right? When so many people together and everybody's having a good time and there is no division between the people, right? That's why is this important? Because you're saying, and I'm hearing somebody here say, what does that have to do with yourself and being in conflict with your own life? Well, this is where it comes together, right? We are all together one, right? And when you're able to be at peace with other people, which are also part of you, then you can bring peace about yourself. So if you yourself are feeling something inside that you want to do, that you want to live, that you want to be, and you're in conflict with your own life, the people around you, or the church around you, or the parents, or your work, whatever it is that is around you that is telling you that that's not possible, or that you can't, or all of those things, right? Well, that's the separation. But when you start to see everything as being connected and you're able to work as one, right? When you see that communion, that the tree outside is communicating with you, that the animals are part of you, that we're all intertwined, connected to each other. And when you have that respect, that reverence towards everything around you, right? Then even if you want to do something and you're feeling like the people around you are, or the things or the circumstances around you are not aligned with what you want inside, then that just automatically dissolves. Once you start seeing everything and everyone as you, as part of you, because you are connected, right? Then whatever's inside you has to also be connected, and it has to also be aligned. Does that make sense? Let me know. Write me a comment, or if this is all making sense to you, because this all started coming. I went for a walk, and I think it was yesterday, and all of this was coming in, and I was like, I need to talk about this, because this is like a huge message that we have forgotten who we are, right? And it's not just remembering who you are as a divine being, or thinking like, oh well, I don't want to be a healer, or I don't have that type of stuff, like, because a lot of people feel that way. They see somebody speaking about this and they cannot relate, because they think, well, I don't do that, or I can't do that, or I don't want to do that, right? Completely fine. But what I'm talking about is seeing that connection as a human, the human being and the soul, as we're all connected, and then everything else around you as well, every living thing, like my gorgeous plant back there. I had that plant for like 20 years, and it looks small now because when I used to go to school, I used to cut the vine, and then put it in little bottles of water, and then I would put them in my classroom, and then they would start to grow roots, and then I would give them to the kids. So that plant has been alive forever, because it just keeps growing and giving and growing and giving, communicating and giving love and to kids, right? To the kids, and they will go to different families every year. And now I'm not going to work there, so what am I going to do with it? I don't know. But I'll find a way to share the love of the plant. But that's how it is, right? Of having that communion with anything and everything. Your animals, if you have animals. I used to have animals. My animals are in heaven right now, but and they come to visit all the time, by the way. But if you have animals, the communion that you have with the animals, and it's the same with the plants, and then it's the same with the foods. It's the same with the things, right? And you're saying, what? Things? Those are not living. Well, everything is energy. Everything is energy. So it's not just the living things that you see as living, it's also the things, because everything is energy, right? So And actually, this has been proven about things having consciousness, right? It has been proven in the lab where they observe the cells, and the cells behave exactly like they're supposed to be behaving. You know, they put the light going through. You guys know about this, right? They had like this wall, and then it had like 3 holes, and then they put the light, and the light beams will go just through those holes, and just have like beams of lights on the other side. And then when the people who were doing it they stopped looking at them, the cells started behaving any which way, the way that they wanted to go. And then when they looked at the data, they were like, wait, what happened? How did that happen? And then they would look at them and they would do it again. Consciousness, right? So the light beams have consciousness. They were behaving the way that the people who were looking at them wanted them to behave while they were being looked at. But as soon as they looked away, they were behaving in any way they wanted. And it was shown on the data because it was showing how the results of it, right? So everything has consciousness. I know some of this is kind of like out there, but this is science, people, and you can actually look it up. Just saying it. So yeah, if you are feeling that you are in conflict with the true self, if you really want to do something, and then how do you know what it is that you really want to do? How do you know when it's your actual soul speaking to you as opposed to your ego, right? Because your ego is the one that's always keeping you small and keeping you safe, right? So you don't get hurt when you fail. That's what the ego does. So how do you know that when you make a decision, when you are ready to jump at something, that is the right decision from your soul wanting to do it, as opposed to the ego coming from fear, right? So the ego is always like, it comes from a place of fear of if I don't do it now, maybe it'll go away. Or maybe if I don't do it, then I'm not going to prove to myself that I can do it, right? So those are ways of seeing it that are lower energies, lower vibrations of like having to prove something. Because as divine beings, we don't have to prove anything. We just do what we want. And what we want is what we feel. And what we feel are always coming from a place of love that not only does it help us, but it also heals others. So that's the true higher self. That's the true soul speaking to you, right? If you're doing things because you feel like, oh, I need to do this, otherwise I will, that's ego. If you're feeling like, oh, I want to do this because I really feel like doing it, because it sounds like fun, because I feel my heart jumping with joy, like, oh my gosh, I really want to do this, then do it. And then if you don't act on that moment, because I know this from experience, if you don't act right away, when you get that hit in your brain, the hit is the feeling, the desire to do something, right? If you don't act right there and then what happens? Then the ego comes in, it's like, can't do it. No, you shouldn't do it because A, B, or C. And the A, B, or C could be so many things. It could be you're going to stink at it, or you won't be able to do it, or who do you think you are to be able to do it, or your parents are going to be upset because that goes against their religion. And I know you're not practicing right now, but you don't want to let them down, or your neighbors are going to look at you funny, or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that your ego is telling you not to do, what your heart wanted to do, right? That's the key. See it for what it is, because we are all getting these messages all the time. And the soul is always talking to you in a way that makes you feel elated and happy and like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. No, I'm so scared. I don't want to do it. Forget it. That's the ego, right? So how do we combat this? Because we have been so conditioned to listen to the ego. We have been given, the ego has had a really big, long ride, okay? Especially now when you hear all of these people talking about all of the fear, the ego is just, loving it, right? It's like, yes, give me more fear, give me more fear. I'm buying it right here. Let me see, where else can I find more fear? That's the ego, right? So when you have a little hint of something that you hear, you read, you listen to, whatever it is, you taste, and you get that feeling of like, oh, wow, that's amazing, right? Like I get that when I eat some fresh fruit that's like super amazing. Like the other day, my son had one of our homegrown tomatoes, and he's like, oh my gosh, Mom, I don't think I've ever had a tomato like that before. Like he was so in the moment, right? So like that, right? I know it's different, but it's not really, right? It's being in the moment. Like, yeah, he could tell the difference that this tomato was different than the regular tomatoes. And we still buy organic, but it was still different, right? From what you grow and from when you pick, you can smell, right? I don't think I've smelled any tomatoes that I bought in the store. They don't have the smell anymore. But that, right? That feeling of like, I really want to do this. Like, you know, if somebody says, hey, you want to go dancing? Sure, oh my gosh, I would love to go dancing. I haven't gone dancing in so long. Let's go, right? And then it used to happen to me all the time when I was in college. I would be like, yeah, let's do it. And then it will be the day that we're going, and I'll start going like, it's kind of late, you know, like I'm feeling kind of comfortable. I'm already in my PJ. I'm going to have to put my makeup on. Do I really need to go? And all of these things. And I remember specifically my friends talking me out of that ego talk and telling me, what are you talking about? Come on, you love dancing. What are you doing? Like, come on, let's go. And like a lot of that, you know, that's why you have friends, right? Friends to help you get out of your own rut. And then I'll be like, all right, fine. And I really hated it. And I really didn't want to go. And I really just wanted to get in bed. Because, you know, I'm a Taurus and I love my rest. And I would go. And it was hard for me. And then I would get there. And I would have a really good time because I love dancing. But I needed that friend to bring me, right? And a lot of us as adults don't have that anymore. We don't have those friends. We don't have those people who get us. Like really get us and understand that and have the patience to be there and hold our hand and bring us out of it, right? We don't have that, a lot of us who are adults now. We had that, you know, earlier. But, you know, some of you may have it, but a lot of us don't. So it's difficult to do it on our own. And so when you have that little hint of when you hear something or you want to do something or you think of something and you're like, oh, I want to do this, do it right there and then. Right there and then. Because if you don't, chances are you're going to let that go. Because your ego is going to give you 101 reasons not to do it. And you're going to believe it because you have been believing your ego forever. Right? So the ego has had the front stage for a really long time. And you keep giving it the stage. And you keep believing it. And you keep keeping yourself low down here while you keep the ego up there. Right? That's the fear. So start bringing the ego down a little. Start inviting the ego to come down. Start walking up that stage a little bit. And start to kind of like meet it halfway. So you can kind of balance the energies. Because the ego is not evil. The ego is here to keep you safe, right? But it's when we give it all of our reverence and we're just like looking at that and believing in that and we forget who we are and we don't give ourselves the chance to do what we really want to do because of fear. That's when it's out of balance, right? So you want to bring that ego back down. You know, just ask it. Make believe it's like another you. Hey, ego, come down here a little bit. Can I go up there for a little bit? Just 2 minutes. You can go back up there on stage. Just give me 2 minutes. Go up there. 2 minutes on the stage, right? Put the ego down. Tell the ego it's okay, that they'll be able to come back. And then do your thing. Take that step. Do that thing you want to do. Go dancing, right? Go out in nature. Take a trip. Whatever it is that you really want to do that you're afraid. And this is how you know you're afraid. When you have a lot of reasons that come to your mind that are telling you not to do it. I don't have a car. I don't have money for a bus ticket. I didn't get the vaccine. I can't really travel because, I don't know, whatever it is, right? So you have all of these ideas that are coming up, well, I can't, that's your ego. Start bringing the ego down and bringing balance, right? And start acting when you get that hint, when you get that moment of happiness, when you feel your heart singing, when you hear something and you're like, oh, I would really like to do that. That. Notice I just stopped there. That. And then do it. Take the steps to do it then. Because the ego is going to convince you not to do it. And then what happens? That a month, 2 months, a year goes by and you still haven't done it. Oops. You still haven't done it. You're still in the same place. You're still having these conversations with yourself. You're still believing the ego. You're still keeping yourself small, right? If you're in conflict, if your soul is in conflict with your life around, it's because you're giving the ego the power. You're listening to it and you're not balanced. You're not bringing yourself to equality, right? You see yourself as down here as I cannot do anything without the ego. I cannot do it. There's so many things that can go wrong, right? I mean, look at the kids, right? Kids, when they're kids and they go running around. I told you this the other day. My son fell down. He was running crazy and then he fell, right? Now the ego's telling him not to run so hard, right? To keep him safe. But what he wanted to do was run and fly, right? And he was having so much fun. That. So remember that. Remember how it feels. Even if it is to actually go out and run. If you haven't run at all in a long time, probably be like 10 steps before you get tired. I'm sure I'm in that category. So yeah, that. I hope this is resonating with you. I hope this is helping you. I hope it's inspiring you. Think and remember back on a time where you were in a place, whether it was a large place of multitude of people like I talked about at the beginning of this video, or a big huge place within your family, like a big gathering, like a birthday or a wedding or something, right? Where everybody was there and everybody was having fun and everybody, this is key, was having fun and getting along, right? Not talking about the comedy movies where you see them, somebody messing up the wedding speech or something. Talking about like everybody was like so happy at the same time and getting along, right? That. Grab onto that feeling and remember that that's who you truly are. You are that being who are divine and love, and you are connected to anyone and everyone around you. When you meet somebody, oh, thank you, Tracy. When you meet somebody and that person is annoying you, it's because there's something within you that you see there. So I was always blaming somebody for my problems. I can't do this because, do you see who I'm pointing at? I'm pointing at me in the camera. Yes, it's me. It's my fault, right? Okay, no, there's no fault, right? That's an ego. Sorry. Pardon back. So yeah, no, there's no fault. It just is. It's just a lesson. We're just yet to learn it. But if you can see everything and everyone from a place of love, then it's much easier to navigate and to close down on anything and everyone who might be not quite in the same page as you, right? So a lot of people dividing from their own families right now just because they have different views. I know personal friends who are having that issue right now. Different opinions on something that's big, and that comes from fear of not being able to see the other person's side, right? It's very sad. Keeping everybody separate. And what is the purpose of keeping everyone separate? So that we don't talk, so that we don't help, so that we don't remember who we truly are. If you remember that you're a divine being and you're able to forgive whomever is doing you wrong, or did you wrong in the past that you no longer speak to, if you're able to see them as a divine being, which they are, as much as you may not want to see them that way, they are, because we all are, then you start to make that connection and bring that love to you, that positive energy to yourself, and then you can feel, literally feel your energy rising. You can feel yourself living up here instead of down here, right? I have had wild animals coming to me in my backyard like never before. Okay, the squirrels, I have not caught them on a camera close by yet, because every time I'm close to them, I don't have my phone. But the squirrels and the birds and the bunnies, I mean, how does it get any better than that, right? When you are in communion with everything around you, and animals, wild animals, that is like the biggest honor, because they speak in that love language. So if you're able to communicate with them and have communion with them, in which they know you're not going to hurt them, they know that they're safe in your presence, and that they know that because they can feel your frequency, they know where you're coming from. If you are upset, if I was upset and you went outside and I was crying or telling myself bad things about me, oh my gosh, why did you do that, right? I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. I need to make sure that I do that to myself to counteract what I just did, because words have frequency, right? So you don't want to be using those words that have a low frequency, because everything you say happens. You attract to yourself. So you want to make sure that you watch your words. Even like I'm doing this video, I had to redo that to bring myself back and not bring that into my future reality. Okay, so when you are in that type of communion and you can communicate with them and the animals know that, then they're going to hang out and they're not going to run away from you. And then if I'm upset or if I'm angry and I go outside stomping or punching or whatever, the animals feel that and whoosh, they disappear, right? So the animals have been all around us, everywhere. Everywhere we go, it's not just our backyard. It's like, we're going for a walk and we see them and they stay and they look at us, right? I'm talking about, when I say us, it's like me and my son, because I do everything with him, like go for walks and stuff. So that's what it is. But remember who you are. Remember that you are a light being of love. And when you're able to see that, the whole grid starts to show up for you and attract all of those more like-minded people. And remember to listen to your intuition and that little voice that says, I want to do X. And I feel joy when I say that or think about that. Then do it. Don't think about it. The only one thinking here is the ego. And all the ego is doing is thinking negative stuff. And if you listen to the ego, you're going to go down, 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 down. Because that's the ego's job. The ego's doing a great job. It's not his fault. It's not his fault that he's succeeding, right? It's not your fault that it's your ego doing it. You're doing a great job. It's okay. Now tell the ego to get back down and to allow you to go up a little bit, right? Little by little. Remember, tell the ego, calm down for 2 minutes. Let me have 2 minutes on that stage. Okay, tomorrow, maybe you ask the ego to come down for 3 minutes. And the next day, maybe it's 10 minutes. And then you start to train. Just like you're training your muscles, right? If you haven't exercised forever and you cannot do a push-up, I cannot do a push-up. And I try to do a push-up, I will fall flat on my face. And if I try to do it today, I'm not going to get any I'm probably going to be like right there. And if I do it tomorrow, I might get to here. And if I do it the next day, I might get a little bit more, right? So the more I work at this, you have to work at it, right? It's a muscle. It's the muscle of your brain, of your physical body telling the ego to do things that you want it to do, right? You have to exercise these things. You can't just try it one time, oh, it didn't work, and then forget it and go back to just believing in it, right? You need to find that balance, just like exercise. You want to change your body, right? You want to be stronger. It's not going to happen from one day to the next, but if you do it every single day, Every day you have a little increment of better and better and better. And you all know this because you've all done this at some point in your life. And then you work at it, and then one day you're like, oops, I'm too tired, I don't want to do it. Or maybe you get sick and you can't do it. And then the next time you go back, what happens? You're not up there again. You're like lower, and you have to work yourself up again, right? So it's just the way it goes. There's no reason to feel bad or to give yourself guilt for allowing the ego to have the stage for such a long time. Don't worry about it, but just try to bring it down. Bring that balance, right? Making the whole thing will bring that balance between you and the ego, and allow your inner self to shine. Give yourself this promise that this week, this is the Lion's Gate, right? August 8th is the Lion's Gate. This is the week to manifest. This is the week to start something new. This is the week to put out there what you really want to do, because it has the energy to support you and to fly, right? So if you want to do something that's new, that's different, whatever that is, this is the time to do it. Okay, don't lose it, because it's kind of like going on a slide, right? So this is the slide that has the water, that when you sit there, you're going to go down, right? And if you let it go, then that slide is going to not have the water. So you're still going to go down, but it's going to be slower. And if you let it go for too long, maybe that slide is going to have some mud or rocks, and then it's going to hurt going down. You're still going to get down, but it's going to hurt, and it's going to take you longer. So this is the time to do something for you. Choose something, anything that you've been wanting to do. It might be that you want to try running or jogging or dancing or making something or creating something new for you, or taking a class, right? A lot of people are going back to college and doing something, right? Take a step towards something that lights you up. Not taking a class because I want to get a degree that's going to give me more money later, but I really hate this class. Something that brings you instant joy, happiness. Maybe yoga, I don't know. Maybe going out, just being out, maybe making a fire and watching the fire burn. Whatever you're feeling inside, that, oh, that would be really nice, or I used to do that when I was a child and maybe I can do that now. Do it now, and start opening your own soul to what it really wants to do. Start answering that call of your soul that has been talking to you. If you have had any type of physical illness, such as pain, right, stiffness, or anything, headache, any of that stuff, it's manifestation of your soul trying to tell you, pay attention, I want to do this. You're not going to listen? Well, here's a headache. How about now? Can you do that other boring stuff you've been doing all this time? How about you lay down and think about it, and then get my message and hear me? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't talk that way. That's just the way I see it sometimes. But hopefully it speaks to you, and hopefully it helps you. Hopefully this opens up your heart a little bit more, and your eyes, so that you can see and understand how those two things are so imbalanced in so many people right now, right? So if you're seeing a lot of this separation, a lot of this anger, a lot of this butting heads type of things, it's just because of that. It's because their ego, your ego, whomever egos, everybody's egos who's fighting right now are like on the stage, and that's what they're fighting, because they're just forgetting who they really are. So have compassion, send love and compassion, to everyone, especially those that you do not agree with right now. Send love and compassion to them, so that you may see them as the divine being that they really are. So you may send them a little of your beautiful healing energy, so that they can remember who they are and why they really came to this earth. Good night, my loves. I hope you liked this. I hope you loved it. Don't forget, To grab, oh yes, I wanted to speak about this. Don't forget to grab, if you haven't already, my free meditations for cleansing rain and love and acceptance. They're really powerful. They've been downloaded by the Acturians, and if you do ask for them and you don't get them, please let me know, because I am not the best at technology, and somebody was telling me that they had asked for it twice and they never received it, and so I did something wrong with it. Like, I think something about, like, if somebody is in one segment, like they ask for one meditation, then when you ask for the second one, it doesn't send it because it thinks you already got it, something like that. So if you are wanting it and you ask for it and you never received it, that shouldn't have happened. As soon as you put your email, it should send it to you. And if that's not happening, let me know and I'll just send it to you, because there's something not properly done the way I did it, and that's all me. I take ownership of that. That's not my thing. So technology is not my thing. So yes, please go ahead. Oh yes, so you're saying I love the cleansing meditation. Yes, I thank you. It's amazing. It really is amazing. And I have two of them. I have one with music and one that's just the rain behind it, like the actual rain. Yes, so if you want to do that, it's on the guides. It's under the guides on my Facebook group. So you can just grab those. I think you can also get it through my website. It's on there as a free meditation if you want to. They're very powerful, and they're really good in getting you to get rid of what no longer serves you. That's the cleansing rain. And the love and acceptance is obviously to be able to receive love and acceptance for yourself first, and then of others, right? So you're able to open yourself up to receive. A lot of us are really beating ourselves down and telling ourselves, ego again, how unworthy we are, or how bad we are, or how we can't do things. And the love and acceptance ones will really help you get rid of those thoughts, those feelings, and that pattern of thinking. And also, this Saturday is automatic writing. So automatic writing for August starts this Saturday. We meet 3 times a month. It's only $33. And if you join at the beginning of the month, you get to come to the other 2 for free. It's the same price. It's just $33. If you don't make it the first one, or if you join the first one and you don't want to come to the others, that's fine. It's just $33 for one of them. But again, if you join at the beginning of the month, you have the rest of the month that you can also come without needing to join again. Like, you're already in it. It's like, for the month. So the month is starting. We're meeting this Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. I'd love to see you there. If you feel that you need a little bit more support and want to connect more with your higher self, automatic writing is a really great way to learn how to do that and how to get the answers that you want from your higher self. So a lot of times we're feeling very confused, or in terms of a specific question that we have, like what to do, and automatic writing has really helped all of us who are in it figure this out and see and get the answers. So the answers are coming from yourself, from your higher self. It's just that you are connecting to yourself and receiving that answer on a tangible piece of paper that you yourself are writing. So it's really good, especially if you're not into all the whole woo-woo thing of being really able to connect. This is a way to connect and receive those messages as well. So I will put the link for the automatic writing on the comments here after I finish this, because I have forgotten about it. Yeah, hope to see you there. Hopefully this live helped you. I talked for a lot today, so yeah, there was a lot of information coming through. All channel people, it's amazing. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.